Hello and welcome to Telecomando RC. So far we've been working on this four-wheel drive, this 4x4 slash that belongs to a good friend of mine. You can follow him at Rods Reels RCs. So he lent me this and I'm doing the work so then I can put the videos on YouTube. And what we're going to be working on is we're going to be putting some 2.8 wheels and tires on this rig. Now we already have some ProLine Tenchers here, and these have already been mounted. They used to be mounted on his two-wheel drive slash. I mean, the guy loves slashes. I mean, I love them too. They're great. But considering the bashing he does, I keep telling him he needs to get a Techno. Maybe if Techno wants to donate a rig for the cause, I can do a build video and then my buddy can have a Techno to drive. Alright, that aside, so these are trenchers. Now he wanted belted tires, and belted are very good because they won't balloon up, and the reason why that is good for this type of rig, as you can see, it has a massive motor in there. I believe that's a 1515 Newcastle motor. Is they're more predictable. If you get tires that balloon up, one, they're not as strong, but two, they're not as predictable. So when you're going really high speeds, it's going to want to bounce left and right, and you can lose control of your RC, crash it, break it. I mean, it's not fun. Now here, we actually got a set of Badlands. The difference between them is Badlands are a little softer compound, which he wanted to try. We're going to try these up front and have these in the rear. There's also a difference in width, as you can see. That's the other reason why we're putting these up front as well, for the steering. So that's one of the reasons, but these are belted as well. You can see there's a difference in the tread pattern. So we're going to see how this thing looks, and then hopefully I can get some videos to share on how this thing performs. So again, we're going to use the trenchers for the rear, which are the wider ones, and then we're going to use the Badlands, which are a little narrower, for the front. And again, both front and rear sets are belted, and they're made by ProLine. And ProLine, check them out if you haven't already, but they make some really high quality tires. Maybe they will watch this video, be considerate of me, and donate a set for the cause, because I'd like to build one for myself. Anyway, that aside, I'll put them on my Techno. I'm gonna get to it. The first thing though is they come with the hexes, so you have to choose which one you're going to use. And they are 12mm hexes, but there's a different offset between them, as you can see. So you're going to be using 2 of them, and you have to pick the correct one. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of each, and then I'm going to just hold them and see which one works. So before you even mount everything, it's better that you get an idea. Just mock them up, see what would work. So this is really going to extend them out and give you a really wide just track on here. But they may or may not steer, so we will see if these would work. And I think the best would be to just mount the rears to see the look on them, because these are going to go back here. There we go. Let me just do the rears first, and then I'll work the fronts. So you just need your 7mm nut driver. And I can't emphasize enough the importance of using good quality tools. No, I'm not sponsored by MIP. Yes, I paid out of pocket for these. I just love the tools. If you're used to using cheap tools, once you get your hands on these and you start working with high quality tools, it makes a huge difference. It makes your job more enjoyable. Cheap tools can ruin your day. Stripping screws, I mean, just damaged tools. Don't cheap out on tools. Maybe I'll start making t-shirts. That would be one of my quotes. Don't cheap out on tools. All right, here we go. So I'm using the one with the larger adapter, and I'm just gonna mock this up. And one of the things, I mean, I'm holding it here, but oh, that'll work. So if I give them the wider track, this actually works nicely. It clears. All right. Let me just see how the small one would fit. This might be too small. Now, you could just drive a screw in there if you want. I don't feel like doing it. There we go. I'm just holding it by hand. And this one's a little closer. Actually, the track is closer to the rear, so I think no, it doesn't run. Okay. I'm gonna go with the smaller ones, and the reason why I'm gonna go with the smaller ones is it looks like it's I'm gonna have a similar width. So let me just put a screw through each one, and I'm gonna show you what I mean. So the first thing to note is these key in. So as soon as you set them, if you set them in wrong, just spin them a little and they'll lock. So these actually key in, as you can see. So they can only go in one direction, and that's it. And one thing I also want to emphasize is I only put one screw, and this is to mock them up again, but I did not tighten it all the way. I actually want to put all the screws in, tighten them in a cross pattern all the way through. So this is just to get an idea on how wide this would be. The other thing too is you don't want your wheels to stick out too much, and the reason why is if they stick too far out, you're going to be rubbing your body. And the problem with that is if you're racing or bashing, and you're rubbing the body as your suspension compresses, your body works as a brake. There we go, 7mm driver. Alright, so just snug, I don't want to tighten them all the way. Remember, I'm just mocking these up. Alright. Now the bash armor body that's going to go on here is actually very wide, so it'll fit. But I want to see if it'll fit just a standard short course body made for a slash. And short course trucks generally have a stance of generally between 29 and 30 centimeters. Yeah, so that one's about 30 centimeters, so that works. The rear is going to be wider, but that's all right. Wow, that's quite a difference there. That's about 34.5 centimeters, 34.5 centimeters in the rear. Let's grab standard short course. This is not going to fit the rear. That's all right. I'm sure you would trim it. That explains it. All right. Yeah, these are not standard, the front ones. So if you watch the other video that I did on the bash body, I drilled the holes right where it's marked out of the factory, but then I had to move these closer together. This is a standard Traxxas short course. Apparently these here are a little closer together than the standard mounts. That's why I had to do those modifications. Good to know it wasn't my fault, because that video is going to be online. But anyway, so we have that, and it will rub in the rear. But it's not a big deal. These are adjustable, so I'm just going to have to move it up. This is the body that's going to go on it. Oh, actually, this is perfect. I wouldn't have to move anything up in the rear, really. I'm still going to. This is perfect. All right. Well, let's keep working. You know, that body is so wide in front, I think I can actually get away with using the larger one. So I'm actually going to remove the wheel, and I'm just going to use the larger ones, because that bash armor body that's going to go on this is super wide in the front. I think it's made for trenchers and Badlands. So let's go ahead and remove this. Good thing. See, this is why I only did one screw. Then I don't have to remove all 6 of them. The other thing too is this is very strong plastic. There's a lot of material. So don't worry about this being fragile or breaking. Chances are if you broke this, you broke other pieces on your rig. Alright. Let's see. So it's faster to put them on than take them off. Alright, that works. Alright, let's try the body back on. Alright, perfect. Okay, you know what? I think that's going to fit this body perfectly. I can steer and not hit it, so I'm actually going to go with the wider stance. Alright, let me go ahead and swap this one out, and then I'll button them all up. Alright, this one's good. So really quick, the way I like to tighten things are, I would tighten this one, then that one, then this one, then this one, then this one, and then I just start over. So that's the way I do things. So this one is ready to be mounted. So I'm going to mount this side, and then I have to go and tighten the ones on the other side, because I haven't put all the screws on the other side. Alright, we're almost finished. Then after this, I'm just going to adjust the shocks. Well, actually the springs, the shocks are fine. And just need to go ahead and do these. Alright, we just got to finish up the last screw. And that is it. Alright. And remember, these here on the wheels, they have to be snug. Do not over tighten, or else you're going to damage that hub. And then you're going to be stuck using this tiny one, unless you fill in with super glue and then run a screw through there to thread it. But here we go. This is it. Those are the tires. Let me flip this over. That's what it looks like on the bottom. I mean, they look super cool, I'll tell you that. And so they're all belted, so this thing's going to be seeing some success. That is why we are doing the belted tires. So since we have the tires on, I'm just going to adjust the front suspension a little bit. I'm probably going to raise, well, I don't know what height he wants, so maybe I'll just place the body and then he can worry about the height. Let me just give the fronts the correct height. And yeah, it's actually a good thing this thing's dirty. I can kind of tell. There we go. Actually, that's pretty close. That's pretty close. Needs more in the front, more in the rear. Anyway, not gonna worry about it. Let's see. How does it sit now? About 32.6. I think the rear was about 34. About 34. It's a little over 34. But anyway, they look great. Let's go ahead and put the bash armor body on. Oh, this thing's amazing. All right. If you haven't watched my videos, my previous video on how I drill these holes, go ahead and watch it. Just keep in mind that if you have these ProLine adjustable mounts, do not follow the two little dimples that are already made there for these holes. Do the holes a little further inside because these are actually closer together. These in the rear are actually a little further apart. I'm wondering if you flip them maybe and put these should go here and these should go there. That's a possibility. So let me just go ahead and grab the little nuts there and button this up. Here we go. Right. There's that one. And I'm not sure if he's going to leave the body white. These bodies all come this color. They do come with stickers, so you can put stickers. And like I said, you can use paint and paint the exterior. It's just going to get scuffed up. But we will see. If you have followed any of my friend Rod's post on Instagram at Rod's Reels RC, you will see Rock Lee. This is actually Rock Lee. You will see the green body, so he generally runs a green body. On the other stuff, he generally runs blue. I always forget, it's PS30 maybe? I don't remember the paint number. This actually looks great. Even at the current height, it's not going to hit, so you can run the body pretty low. I mean, that's the way it would run, and it's not going to rub. You can increase the height a little once he starts getting some mud on there. Something's going to start hitting, but so far that looks pretty good. And then if he turns, it doesn't hit, turns the other way, he's good. I mean, it's probably a good idea to raise the body maybe, I don't know, next step above, what is that, 2 millimeters, 3, something like that. But other than that, this thing looks awesome with the Badlands in the front and Tenchers in the back, all 4 of them belted. Again, this thing's going to be doing some massive jumps on 6S LiPo power. There's the front look, very aggressive look. I love the look of this thing. So again, if you're new to the hobby, or if you've had a Slash 4x4 for a while and you're thinking of just doing some hop-ups, these are some of the things that you can do, and it'll make a world of a difference. You don't need to buy a separate monster truck, but if you do, go for it. It's always, you can never have too many rigs. As far as I'm concerned, if you can still count them, you don't have enough. There's no such thing as too many. Right? So, how do you know you have too many rigs? When you can no longer count them. That being said, thank you so much for watching Telecomando RC. We will catch you on the next one, so make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Be good.